Hello again, we have the rematch here against Mr. Killer Kaz. And now we have the ultra accelerated dragon unleashed. That's quite an popular opening. I would say that it's also one of those openings in which are almost never seen at the very high level. So it's a bit rare to see, let's say, Carlsen or name other strong chess players play this variation. But you do see it occasionally, and you also see it quite frequently in the let's say the grandmaster level, but not the very elite, like the 600 to 700 players. And it's one of those openings in which I think people are not 100% sure what is going on. Why exactly is this opening not so popular? Because in practice it's quite difficult to face it, I must say. Okay, so now this is actually a theoretical position. Black is having some weaknesses in his pawn structure, but he's having quite a lot of piece activity, which is about to get apparent very soon. I think I've already had such similar game in the past, in which I've tried to opt for a long castle somehow, but it didn't actually turn out to be very good for me. So I've actually came to the conclusion that when black plays this move order and this pawn structure, I should probably aim to castle kingside, because his bishops are inevitably going to aim at my queen side, which is why putting my king there is perhaps not the best idea possible. Now he's either having quite a long think about a very obvious move, which is bishop to g7. It's kind of funny that black played the move pawn to g6 on his second move, and it's now move number 11, and he still didn't actually play the move bishop g7, which is a kind of a move you expect to be played right after the move g6. So he decided to develop the bishop with a gain of tempo against my pawn. This is fair. Now I think I'll play this move to safeguard my pawn. And basically I believe the position is solid for black. It's actually not so easy for white to take advantage of his isolated pawns, and his activity is quite a good compensation for these positional drawbacks. But this is a thing that will be kind of practiced and checked in the next moves, which of the sides will be able to make the opponent's drawbacks more important. Yeah, let's castle. So yeah, he's taking his time to think. Once again, for moves I believe to be kind of obvious in a way. Some makes you wonder a bit. For example, now I think that if I were playing black, yeah, it would take me maybe 1 to 5 seconds to make the move short castles. Okay, now time to think, where do I want to put my pieces? The bishop, I still am not quite sure. It has 3 candidate squares. Now, what do you do when you are not sure where to put your piece? Don't develop it yet. Wait for a better opportunity. So I will first develop the rook. So it's kind of a tempo on the pawn on e7. What I would really like to do is to force him or to provoke him to play the move e6, because then his bishop would be caged on f5. And then I will have some ideas maybe related to h3 and g4. So if I were black, I would perhaps try to sacrifice this pawn on e7 in order to get some active piece play. Maybe a move like rook d8 with the idea that if I take the pawn on e7 I'm getting a back rank checkmate here. Once again, a lot of thinking. I'm already up 3 minutes. 3 minutes is quite substantial in a 10+5 game. It's like a 30% advantage on time. You know, some people claim that this kind of time advantages can be compared with material advantages. So for example, if you have 5 minutes more on a 10 minutes game, so it means that it's like being a piece up or a pawn up. Now I'm not sure whether this is really kind of accurate, or really does it really has any sense to it, but it does strike me like a quite a nice advantage to have. Now he decided just to play rook e8. Now this is the move that I'm happy to see, because it's putting his rook onto a kind of passive square on e8. I'm not really sure whether this is where it really wants to be. I think now it's a good time to decide what to do with this bishop. I think in general I would like to exchange those bishops. This bishop on g7 is much stronger, much more active than mine. Probably bishop f4 makes sense, with the idea maybe to plant it on e5 later on. So once again, as a whole, white in this kind of positions where you have this pawn structure material should be quite happy with exchanges in general. So this is why I don't mind too much exchanging many pieces, because in theory, at least in the end game, I should have a nice advantage thanks to the weak pawns of his. His main chances are based on piece activity in the middle game, or rather a queenless endgame, we can call it this way. So without all of the pieces on the board, I should be better. So yeah, now he's down below 4 minutes. This means that I have, yeah, 4 minutes advantage, even more. If he's not doing anything special, my next move will probably be bishop f5. If not, I might also consider centralizing my last undeveloped piece, the rook to d1. Other useful moves that I still have in the pocket, or sorry, are knight c5 I wanted to say, but now he had actually just covered the square. Now I'm wondering if it's the right time to play a move like c3. Now what I like about the move c3, that it's completely taking the activity of the bishop on g7 off, and also it takes away the pressure from the pawn on c2, so it does make some sense. The main drawback of the move c3 is that I actually weaken this square, and if his knight will ever plant itself on d3, it would be perhaps disastrous for me. Yeah, I don't see too many other good things to do, so I'll just go with c3. Now I'm a bit worried about the possibility of pawn to e5 followed by pawn to e4, and then trying to maneuver in his knight there. But at the worst case, actually, even if the knight will get to d3, I can always play my move knight to c5 with the idea to exchange it off, so there is no grave danger in this kind of maneuver. And now, yeah, he played e5. My nightmares came true. Let's play bishop e3. Yeah, now he will play e4, there is no doubt about it. Bishop f8, wow. What's this? It's a strange move to make. Well, maybe he wants to cover this square, but I don't really get it, and I will just keep centralizing my pieces. Maybe now he wants to play e4 and then knight e5, probably. I don't see any other constructive plan for him. So when he will play e4, how will I be able to deal with these ideas of knight e5 and knight e3? I will have two tempos to do something. It's actually a big question whether I will really have anything to do. Rook e to d8. Yeah, I think my opponent is a bit off here. I don't think that he's in the right direction at all. The move rook d8 I think is just a bad move. If I want, I can just force the rook to move back to where it came from with a move like bishop g5. I also like a simple move like h3, just giving my king a lift square. Yeah, let's just do this, threatening g4, doing some damage. So now he will probably play a move like h5 in order to avoid the move g4. But this is beneficial for me. I got a lift square for the king, let's say for free, because I didn't have to spend the tempo on it. Bishop e7. Well, in this game I'm doing a really bad job of predicting his next moves. I would never predict the move bishop e7, even though I get it, he wants to avoid the move bishop g5. But how come the move g4 does not scare him at all? I would be scared if I were him. I would be scared about this kind of possibility. Let's try to calculate. g4. He will play bishop e4 probably, because bishop e6 is just bad. I will take and I will have a nice pawn structure. But the bishop on e4 is a very problematic piece. Let's do g4. Don't see any reason not to. Yeah, bishop e4. And now my plan was just to drop the bishop. And on bishop f3 I have this move rook to d3, threatening the bishop, and the really nice point of this is that whenever he plays e4 I can still take it, and then I take the bishop on e7 using this spin along the e file to win material. I think black is actually in troubles right now. Probably the best thing that he can do, like the relatively best thing that he can do, is to play bishop d5 and to play just a position with the pawn down, because I believe that if he plays e4, yeah, he did, but I think this is quite hopeless. My bishops are way too strong. I have this threat on e7. Yeah, and he blundered another piece and resigned. Nice game. I think throughout the game, actually, black was very much in an okay position. I think until somewhere around this point, I think his position was still quite okay. Now, yeah, the computer also writes the move e4 is the best move, but he almost on every single move he should have played this move and his position would be okay. Yeah, but yeah, this is probably his critical mistake. Bishop e4, he should have preferred bishop e6, but yeah, this is not might be a tactically winning position, but just look at his pawn structure, it's so bad. I think white will just win this kind of position just over time. Yeah, and in this position, as I said, black should have preferred the move bishop d5, when at least there is some unclear questions, but here, yeah, this position is undoubtedly hopeless for black. My bishops are way too strong for him to cope with. yeah, so hope you enjoyed the game. I think it was quite a nice game, positional one, but with a tactical twist at the end. So hope you enjoyed it. See you next time, guys. Bye bye.